So why has someone decided to start a subreddit titled Scammed by Mina or Fine? Let's explore. I felt compelled to speak on this topic because I was one of the Black women who did start following her and watching her content a few years ago, I think about 3 years ago. So first, I will talk about how I came to find her content. And then secondly, I'll talk about why I feel like she is disingenuous. Even though I do like a lot of her content, I do feel like, or I have seen moments to where she is disingenuous. And thirdly, I will talk about the subreddit and the issues people are listing that they have with her and what I feel are the most important points. So about 3 years ago, I had been single for a number of years and I decided that I wanted to start back dating, and I did go online just to see what was out there, what were people talking about, and a lot of the information that I was finding was trash.
Here's my view. If you go on a date with a guy and you don't offer to pay your share, you weren't taught right.
And then I did end up coming up on a lot of Black female creators who spoke about femininity and how to date in a more feminine way, and how to date someone who's your counterpart who's more masculine. So that definitely was more my speed. And on one of the videos I saw from one of these content creators, she did a collab with Mina or Fine. So that got me interested in her content. Like, why not? I'm always interested in, finding new YouTubers to watch. So I did go over to her channel to see what she was about. And the majority of what she was speaking about, I agreed with. And even the things that I had never really heard of before or heard mentioned before, it piqued my interest and it sounded pretty reasonable. Like some things that I would definitely want to try. So when I did watch her videos, as well as, from other Black female content creators, it really validated how I felt as far as the direction I wanted to go with dating. And then it really did help me have a game plan with dating. So from her, the main lessons that I found that were very helpful was to rotational date, to be embodied in your femininity, and to do inner work. Now I want to talk about why I feel like she comes across a little disingenuous, a little fake. And I will say overall, just watching her content, she's very charismatic. She's really good at storytelling. And at the end of the day, my conclusion is that she's a saleswoman. She knows how to sell. So that's what the conclusion I gave. I'm not saying she's a bad person or anything like that. I don't know her personally, but I do think she's a good saleswoman. Every time she did a new live, she has this perfect story that'll match up with this course that she's trying to sell. And I will always think, wow, that's a good story. Did it really happen? Or no. And there's other creators I follow who talk about even more extra things or extreme things or out there things. And I kind of believe what they're saying, even though what they're talking about is kind of otherworldly and out there. I believe what they're saying because I sense that they have a kind spirit and a genuine spirit. But a lot of times with her, when she would be telling a story, it would be too perfect and match up too well with the course she was trying to sell. Not always, but a lot of times when I watch her content, I'm like, did that really happen? And besides that, me just feeling like she's a good saleswoman. There are a lot of inconsistencies in her videos. So she goes live a lot. And granted, I do think it takes a lot of courage to go live. And I also do believe that when you're online and you're doing videos, it's easy for people to twist your words. And people also that I noticed, they don't give you really the benefit of the doubt to change. So they don't give you that space to change. Like, we all change. Just because I thought something 2 years ago doesn't mean I think the same thing now. So we all change, we all evolve. Hopefully that's what we're doing. But there are things that I don't feel like change. They should stay consistent. I'll just talk about some things that I saw from her videos that I found that were inconsistent. So number one, I watched one of her older videos and she stated that she was an extrovert and her husband was an introvert. And then later in another one of her other videos, she said that she was the introvert and her husband was the extrovert. And I'm like, wait a minute, which one is it? Like, how did you guys flip-flop roles? So to my knowledge, that doesn't really change over, I'm guessing it can, but for you and your spouse to swap places on being an introvert or extrovert is kind of iffy to me. Another thing that I noticed was in her older videos, when people would ask for book recommendations, she would give them book recommendations. But then in her newer videos, she would kind of say, when people would be like, oh, I want to learn more about that topic, what book do you suggest? She would say,
oh, what I learned is from my culture and my previous education, just different things I've learned over time, just this nice combination of information that only I could put together.
She literally had I don't know if she still has it, but she has a Amazon, what do you call it? Like when when they have their own Amazon page and they list like their favorites or whatever. She had a Amazon favorite books page and I actually did see it. I don't know if she still has it or not. And then the other thing, which I thought was hilarious, in one of her videos, these are just examples. So in one of her videos, she had a question, someone asked her a question about buying men gifts, like, is it okay to buy men gifts? And she was just like, no, her husband hates when she buys him gifts. Like, he literally gets mad. And then in another video with him, someone asked, why do masculine men hate gifts or hate when you buy them gifts? He was like, oh no, it depends on the intent, but most people like getting gifts. Like anybody would like a gift.
I could never understand why my husband would get mad at me when I bought him. Like he would actually get mad when I bought him presents. Why do provider men not like getting gifts?
I don't think it's about not like getting gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody dislikes getting gifts.
So I'm just like, are you guys not on the same page in your marriage? Like, does he like getting gifts or does he not like getting gifts? Like, which one is it? So, like I said, people change and people change their opinions about things, but certain things I would say would be an inconsistency or a lie. Like if you morph yourself or what you believe or what you say to fit something you're trying to sell or to fit a certain narrative at the time, then to me that's not genuine. That's basically lying. So as far as me feeling like she targeted Black women, so she, like I said, she was kind of collabing with these different content creators, Black content creators, kind of back to back. And this was obviously a tactic to get Black women to come over to her channel, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But I did see a video of one of her intensives that she did, and it looks like there was mostly Black women there. And I'm just like, where are the women from your culture? Where are the Pakistani Indian women? Like, where are they at? Like, that should be your main audience, you know what I mean? So where are these women who were following you before? So on to the subreddit tea. So there's a lot of posts on there now and it just keeps growing and growing. But I did look at it and it looks like there's like, to me, the three main concerns that piqued my interest is that her courses don't have any value, or they don't have as much value as she claims they have. She steals other people's content, allegedly, and she's basically greedy. So let's talk about the courses, because that seems to be the main thing that people have an issue with. So her courses cost thousands of dollars, and I've never taken one of her courses because of what I stated previously, is those inconsistencies in which she says. And then another reason why I have never taken one of her courses is because there was another woman few years ago, she did a video about taking her course, and she said she got absolutely nothing from that course.
Then I realized that it was like I had not progressed energetically or business-wise any since sending that check or starting this mentorship.
And there has been times where I actually looked at the courses or just saw, just took a peek at, what was in them or whatever, just to see if I would want to take a course. And I never actually went through with it. And I'm not saying I'm somebody who can just shell out thousands of dollars for courses. Absolutely not. But there's definitely been times where I definitely could have purchased a course. And I'm like, I don't think so. And it's just the fact that I truly instinctively just feel like she doesn't come across as genuine all of the time. So and as far as that goes, as far as buying a course, just use discernment, follow your intuition. Do not, and granted, like I said, she's a saleswoman, so she knows those psychological tactics to get people to buy stuff. So it will be easy for people to fall into her web. It will be easy for people to fall into her web because of that. But I would say use discernment, especially when it comes, because I do not part with my money very easily. I do not. So that's just how I feel about the courses. On the other end of the spectrum, I feel like people can charge whatever they want for whatever they're selling. But if you're charging thousands of dollars, you better back it up. That it better be worth what you're saying it's worth. So you can charge whatever you want. I feel like you have your prerogative to charge whatever you want, but you better be able to back it up. And then she has had people in her comment section, talk about how her courses have helped them. There's that. And then people did bring up the fact that she may be stealing people's content. So someone on the subreddit, one of the threads, they did link a article for a spiritual leader. I'll just call him a spiritual leader. His name is Michael Beckwith, and he's been around for quite some time. So Mina she has these 4 levels of, it's 4 or 5, I believe, levels of consciousness. So it's the basic babe, the self-aware Barbie, millionaire, what is it? Self-aware Barbie, millionaire something, and the high-end divinity is the last one. His is called, Mina Irfan's is called Stages of Consciousness, and then Michael Beckwith's is called Stages of Spiritual Development. So I'll put it up and you let me know what you think. Are they similar? Did she take information from him to make her own content and just kind of zhuzh it up a little bit to make it her own? So yeah. And then also there's another thread where someone lists like a ton of books to where she got her content from, or her content ideas, and kind of basically made it her own. So most of those books I haven't read. Obviously I'm not about to go out and read a ton of books just to see, but it sounds like there may be some truth to what, people are saying as far as her repackaging other people's content. And then lastly, I've seen people kind of basically say that she's greedy. And that's kind of what, allegedly, and that's kind of what I touched on as far as her, the storytelling, the sales tactics, different things like that. Her stories always match up with this course she's coming out with. And I can see where they're coming from. Again, like I said, you can charge whatever you want for your stuff. It's somebody's gonna pay. So if somebody's gonna pay for it, charge it. I don't see a problem with that at all. But like I said, you need to back it up with something. Like, you need to back it up. And I will say that I did stop following her a little while ago because I did kind of feel like her content, I learned what I needed to learn. So, and then I would kind of come back and revisit her channel to, you know, see what was new, see, to kind of, I do like listening to her talk. Like I said, she is very charismatic. So I do like listening to her talk. So I'll play her videos in the background while I'm cleaning or whatever. And one time I came back in one of her videos, she was cussing up a storm. And I was like, what happened? That was another thing too. People were like that she changed from her older videos. And I can see that. She's not doing it, all the cussing anymore. Maybe she got flagged or something, I'm not sure. But she was cussing up a storm. And I'm just like, okay. Like, I cannot watch people who cuss in every other sentence because it just comes across as aggressive. So overall, what I have to say aboutMinairfan is that her content is good content, especially her older content. I would say is really good. I learned a lot from it. I did learn a lot from it, as well as from other content creators. But I would say that I would never buy one of her courses because she does not come across as always being genuine, and she does come across as very salesy to me. So I would say if you are thinking about buying one of her courses, use discernment, read the subreddit, watch the videos from people who said they did not get any value from her content. At the end of the day, she's a saleswoman. She's a saleswoman. That's all I have to say. So you in the comments, let me know what you think. Were you someone who followed her and now you kind of been turned off by how she's been acting recently? What do you think about the subreddit? Have you read it? No pun intended. Yeah, just let me know. But thanks so much for watching. Bye.